Hey there, this is Vlad Cherchenko. I'm here with Rob McAfee.
Hello.
In this video, we're going to go over our new team member onboarding and training schedule. In the past, it would take us about 2 weeks to onboard somebody. Now, we can get someone from being brand new to being on the phone, selling and producing as early as 6 days. The quickest we've ever had it was 5 days. And what we want to do is go over what that first week looks like. Rob, first day in the office, we usually have our producers come in, or new hires come in at 10 a.m. If we start the morning at 8 a.m., we have everybody do our morning huddle, everybody settles in, we let everybody know that, hey, we have a new person starting later today, here's a little bit about them. At 10 o'clock, they come in, and what they do is they log into the system, you show them around the office, you
give them a tour,
introduce them to everybody.
Right.
But what happens afterwards?
So the first half of day one, you're gonna have them go through the company required training. And when I say that, whatever company you're with, generally there's some type of training that the carrier or the company makes you go through before you can actually start selling. So that's what we focus on in the first half of day one. Get them through the company training.
And one thing to note here is if your company doesn't require any training, then maybe this is a step you skip. If your company requires every person to do 2-3 days of training, then you'll have to adjust this training schedule accordingly. So when we're talking about days, keep that in mind.
Absolutely. So that's the first half of day one, or however long it takes you, respecting your carrier. The second part of the first day, or the second half of day one, is the new team member is going to have to go through an exercise to learn how to explain insurance terms in a very, very simple way. And one of the big reasons that we do this is because when you're taking your exam, you're taking your P&C test, and you learn a ton of information, you learn a lot of terms and a lot of words, and if we're being honest with ourselves, most people just cram all that information, they want to pass the test, and then it goes right out the window, or you really can't even understand it, honestly. So they go through an exercise called Insurance Made Simple, and right below this video, you'll be able to download that sheet. And what you want to do is give the new team member a couple hours to research all of the most common insurance terms, the ones that we use on a day-to-day basis.
Like on Google and YouTube?
Yeah, they go to Google, they go to YouTube, they might be able to, I mean, nowadays you can use ChatGPT, you can
Grok?
Grok it, You have a lot of resources, but have them do their own research and learn these terms. And then later in the day, before the end of the day, you want to meet with that new team member and you want to have a back and forth conversation with them. And the goal of this is you want them to be able to explain these terms to you in a way that a teenager could understand without actually using the insurance jargon. So you'd say, hey, explain how bodily injury works. What is bodily injury? Explain the difference between a homeowner's policy and a renter's policy. And they should be able to communicate that in a very simple way. And just a quick pro tip, everyone might not be really great. They might not be an expert at first, but that'll give you a really good baseline of where they are and how to help them moving forward.
And this is important to do even with people who have insurance experience. If someone has been in the industry for a while, still give them an opportunity. Maybe it won't be a few hours, but 1 hour to just get very familiar with all the terms, and they'll need to explain it to you in simple terms so that a teenager could understand. That's day one. Day 2 and 3 is really interesting. That's when we have our producers, sales and service. Everybody would need to go through our One-Call Close Masterclass, or our One-Call Close Bootcamp. When you go into Insurance Sales Lab, you click on Personal Lines, click on the One-Call Close Bootcamp, and have your producer go through that from beginning to end. And once they are done with that, here's the key difference that we have identified of what makes these recaps afterwards to be more effective. In the past, we would ask, what are your takeaways from the 20 different lessons? And then the producers would say, yeah, well, I thought it was really helpful. It teaches you how to do this and that.
I got to build rapport.
Yeah, that's not what we want. What we want is for the new hire to teach us for every lesson what they learned. So now you as an agency owner become a student, and they as the new hire are the teacher, and they have to explain the terms in, or the lesson. Let's say lesson 1 is the 3 fundamentals. What are the fundamentals? Explain those to me. The next lesson is the hook.
Right.
What is the hook? Not necessarily what's written in the script, but when you're thinking about the hook, what are some do's? What should you do? What are some don'ts? And they have to teach it to you. And this is a good opportunity for you as the agency owner to spot check to make sure that they are following along and they understand what needs to be retained. And you can provide some additional insights. And make sure that you preface before they start the boot camp that that's what they're going to have to do. And don't wait until the very end when they're done with all the lessons to do this exercise. After they're done watching the first couple of lessons, go meet with them and have them explain the first few lessons. And the reason that's so important is because this is their first opportunity to teach you the information, and then you can course correct and say, hey, for the next few lessons, here's how I want you to adjust how you're going to teach me. And this is by far the best way for them to retain the information from the One-Call Close Bootcamp is not just by sitting and watching, but taking notes and then teaching it back to you. Does that make sense? I hope it does. That's about 2 days. Rob, What happens in day 4?
Yeah, day 4, when the team member arrives, you're gonna get them logged into your internal systems, your CRM, your phone system, any other internal systems that you use. Get them logged in, show them how to use it, how to navigate the CRM, how to navigate the phone system, how to make a call, how to text, how to status leads, all the good stuff with your internal systems. And once they're familiar with that process, then they're gonna prepare some mock quotes. They're gonna prepare some quotes so they get familiar with the quoting system, because the last thing you want is to put them on the phone with a live prospect and they're talking to them, they're using the sales process, but they don't know how to quote. They're like, okay, well, where do I go here? It presents a really big problem. So they run through a few different scenarios of mock quotes, which we have listed on the sheet there, and they get familiar with the quoting process. So that's day 4. Day 5, Vlad, how does that go?
Yeah, really quick on the quoting process. What we used to do that we've now adjusted is that in the past, I would show you how to prepare an auto quote, home quote, and I say, okay, that's one, I'm gonna leave the office, you prepare the next 5 quotes. Right. And then they would waste hours trying to figure out how to quote. We don't do that anymore. What we wanna do is spend a couple of hours with them, they're driving, and you're pointing where to click, and you want to make sure that they do all of the quotes with you present. If you as an agency owner can't invest that time, then have someone from your team spend that time with them. It'll just accelerate that learning curve where they're going to be able to get on the phone faster. Instead of spending a full 8-hour day of them quoting, now it becomes a half-day thing. So that's really important. Day 5 is where, depending on the size of your agency, this is where you may or may not have to do this. But in our agency, what we like to do is we like to have the new hire become an SDR, a sales development representative, for about 1 day, where they're going to call new leads or requotes, get people on the phone, and then do a warm transfer to a sales agent. This is a way for them to get the nerves out, talk to people, but not actually have a full sales conversation. They're just going to get people on the phone and then do a transfer to a sales producer. And the importance there is they get to learn how the phone system works, they get the nerves out, and they're really just doing the hook part of the sales conversation. And then day 6, that's where they do the final certification. And this is really important. This is where the producer goes to their office, their room, their workstation. You as an agency owner go to your workstation. And you assign any random lead from your system, and you as an agency owner become that individual, and you're the prospect. And that sales agent has to go through the entire process and sell a home and auto policy. And here's something I want to warn you with, is that it's probably gonna be really bad. Even though the producer is going to end up being perfectly fine, they're gonna sell a lot of new business, that first role play is usually not excellent. And what you wanna do is not give them a whole lot of negative constructive feedback once they're done, but stop and say, how do you think that went? And the producer is probably going to be very critical. They're gonna say, oh man, I did so bad. You say, you know what? Here are some things that I think you did really well, and find 1 or 2 things that they did really well. and then give them one thing to work on. Say, okay, we're gonna do this once more, but this time, here's what I want you to adjust. And the producer, the new hire, is likely going to be surprised with your feedback because they probably will expect that you're gonna say, oh man, you should have fixed 20 things.
Get out of here.
Yeah, exactly. But you're only giving them one or two things to focus on. So you do that for the first role play, you do that for the second role play. And one thing that I like to do when I do these role plays is during the call, I might stop them and say, okay, here's one adjustment that you can make. And I might do that a couple of times, and then I'll say, okay, keep going. And you want to be very positive and reinforce them that you're doing okay, you're doing great. Don't give them fake praise, but on the things that they are doing well, the things that they do explain well, just acknowledge that. Once you're done with those 2 role plays, the producer will still not feel fully ready, but throw them in the deep end. Have them get on the phone and have them start calling. And this is where it really becomes important that you stay in the room with the producer, or have somebody else from your team stay in the room with the new hire for a full day or 2 until they make their first sale. And I can tell you from experience, after having a lot of our new hires come on using this new plan, is that all of our producers have done $40,000 in premium or more in their first full month. And the reason for that is because we got them to sell properly as early as possible. We don't want to have any missed opportunities. And what we like to do with our team members is follow this schedule, and we recommend that you do the same. If you want to have a service training schedule, that is something that we're going to record a video on here very soon. We'll publish that as well, but this is what we do with our sales producers. Hopefully you found this to be helpful. Use this on your next hire. Take care.